My name is Olivia. I'm 31, and I still don't know why I said it. I keep trying to convince myself that it was the wine or the stress or the fact that he forgot our plans again. But deep down, I know better. It wasn't about that night. It was about a slow ache that had been building in me for months, one I didn't know how to name without turning it into a weapon. He was standing by the kitchen counter when I said it, reaching for a glass. Nothing dramatic, no yelling, no slamming of fists, just quiet. And then he walked away. He didn't even finish pouring the water. Jake wasn't like anyone I'd dated before. He didn't leave sweet notes in my purse. He didn't plan elaborate dates or buy me gifts just because. He didn't flood my phone with heart emojis or text me first thing every morning. He just showed up. Every time, every day. He fixed the leaky pipe under my sink before I even asked. Picked up almond milk because he remembered I was cutting back on dairy. Rubbed my back when I didn't even realize I was in pain. But I still found myself measuring him against the noise of my past. Against Eli. Eli was the kind of guy who made grand gestures, spontaneous road trips, roses sent to my office, love letters that looked like poetry, but felt like manipulation in disguise. I used to confuse chaos with passion. I used to think loud meant love. And Jake? He was quiet. Maybe too quiet for someone like me, someone who craved constant validation because she never learned how to love herself in the silence. The night it happened, I'd made dinner, nothing fancy, just pasta and garlic bread. But I'd lit candles, I'd cleaned the apartment, I'd even worn that soft black sweater he once said made my eyes look darker. He walked in, tossed his bag on the couch, and gave me a tired smile. "Smells amazing," he said, loosening his tie. But I wanted more. I wanted him to pause, really look at me, and say something that made me feel seen, wanted, special. He didn't. He sat down and started eating like it was just another Tuesday, so I picked a fight. I don't even remember the first thing I said, something petty, something about him forgetting to text me back during his lunch break. He apologized, gently, tried to explain that work had been overwhelming, that he hadn't even taken a break that day, but that wasn't enough for me. I needed to feel important, urgent, craved. The way Eli used to make me feel when he begged me not to leave after every fight he started, the way he used to kiss me like I was the only oxygen left in the room. Jake didn't fight like that. He never raised his voice, never tried to win. And in that moment, it made me angry, so I looked up at him, at this man who never gave me a reason to doubt him, and I said the ugliest thing I've ever said in my life. "You don't make me feel the way Eli did." The room went still. He blinked once, slowly, like he was giving my words time to sink in, hoping maybe he'd misheard. But I didn't take it back. I just sat there, arms crossed, daring him to react. He didn't. He set his fork down, wiped his mouth with a napkin, stood up. I thought he was going to the bathroom, or maybe stepping outside to cool off. Instead, he walked into the bedroom. I waited. 1 minute, then 5, then 10, and when I finally walked in, his duffel bag was gone. The drawer he kept some of his clothes in was half empty. His charger was missing from the nightstand. He didn't slam the door. He didn't even leave a note. He just left. The silence afterward was suffocating. I kept replaying the look in his eyes when I said it. The way his shoulders fell, not from anger, but from disappointment, from exhaustion. I didn't just hurt him. I undid him. And for what? A moment of self-pity? A cheap comparison to a man who never actually loved me, just knew how to make me feel addicted to being wanted? I spent the next few days walking around our apartment like a ghost, his toothbrush still in the holder, his scent still clinging to the pillow. I texted once, "Jake, I didn't mean it. You've always made me feel safe. I just wanted to feel special. I'm sorry." He didn't respond. A week later, I heard from a friend that he'd moved in with his brother, wasn't dating anyone, wasn't angry, just done. I think about that moment every day now, how I mistook calm for indifference, how I punished a good man for not loving me in the language I had learned from broken people. Jake loved me in steady ways, in small, sacred gestures that didn't need applause, in the way he remembered how I liked my tea, in the way he always made sure I walked on the inside of the sidewalk. He never made speeches, he never performed, but he stayed, until I made staying impossible. If you're reading this, and you have someone in your life who loves you quietly, don't overlook that love. Don't throw it away looking for fire when what you need is warmth. Don't compare a man's silence to a boy's chaos. Because sometimes the people who love us the best aren't the ones who make us feel butterflies. They're the ones who make us feel safe. Jake did. And I let him go with one sentence. One cruel, selfish sentence I can never take back.